to Watch It Real. I'm Ira Jersey, the general manager of the men's program at Real Central New Jersey Soccer. With me tonight, we go to the front office. It's our chief marketing and brand officer, Jeremy Ryan. Jeremy, thanks very much for coming on Watch It Real.
Thanks for having me, Ira. This is great. I have to tell you, though, before we even get underway, I know we're going to talk about lots of opportunities for everyone to get involved in naming and branding. I love our logo. I watched it at the beginning of the pre-roll, and it's right up there at the top as our eyebrow. I will be sad to see it go if it actually goes, which, is up to the fans, and we'll talk about that tonight. But I love it. I had a great time doing it with Max, a member of the team, and I think it just turned out great.
So Max, our inaugural guest on this show way back in July. So it's been a couple of weeks since we did this show. So let me tell you a little bit about us. So Watch It Real is the show telling you about the story of what's going on with Real Central New Jersey Soccer and how we're progressing. So, and the reason we haven't been on in a few weeks is we've been super busy. And in fact, maybe in the coming, in the next couple of weeks, we'll have one of our players on our inaugural soccer team. We're playing soccer, Jeremy. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
We had anticipated not kicking off until next May, but we've now seen a need for under 23 soccer in this area because with NCAA seasons being canceled, we actually had people approach us and say, "Hey, are you guys going to put together a team this fall?" And, we did. So we have 22 guys on our roster, and we're going to be playing our first league match this coming weekend. If you're time stamping, it's currently the 16th of September, 2020. So Jeremy, let's go back and start even before this was kind of a seed in my brain. But what do you do for a living, and how long have you done it? And that's number one. And number two, and maybe more importantly, you can answer this first. Where are you from? What's your background in terms of Central New Jersey?
Well, I grew up right here in Real Central New Jersey, and it was a great place to grow up. I played soccer for the Lawrence Hamnets. I started in the rec league. I played competitive and travel ball. Played for Lawrence High School. I loved growing up here in New Jersey. I've since, to answer your other question, I lived all over the U.S. And done marketing, a lot of digital services, digital infrastructure, consulting, and then have recently moved back within the last 2 years where we met coaching rec league soccer together, which was a fantastic introduction. So it has been a seed in your brain for at least as long as I've known you, which is, I guess, 2 years, 2 years now, a little bit more than 2 years. But yep, I grew up here and love it.
So let's start going in toward the team. So I think it was you, myself, and another friend of ours who's also a native Lawrencevillian, and we were down at Firkin Tavern in Ewing, New Jersey, watching a women's national team game. And I said, you guys said, "What's going on?" And I said, "Well, I'm thinking about doing this, minor league soccer team." And, you jumped at the idea. I mean, I think that a couple of days later. Yeah. So talk to me about, what compelled you to, have this, strong urge to get involved with the team early? Because you were really, quite frankly, you were the first person besides myself and my wife that were intimately involved with this project.
Well, first off, to hear you talk about soccer is amazing. You might have another career as a commentator if ownership doesn't work out, and even if ownership does work out, I have a feeling you'll want to be right there on the sidelines calling the shots, which is fantastic. But it's to hear your passion about it. It's definitely infectious. I've always loved soccer, as I mentioned. I grew up playing soccer, but I had I think the very first MLS match I ever went to was with you. We saw the Red Bulls together, and when you started talking about it, I just thought this is going to be a great thing. And let's face it, there's a big gap in our area in terms of professional sports. We have a great ball club down in Trenton for baseball, and but outside of that, you have to travel. You're going to Philly, you're going to close to New York, and they're wonderful experiences, but they're also not necessarily family friendly for everybody. they're hard to get to. So just, in the 15 minutes or so that you were talking about it, it all just clicked for me. It made a lot of sense. I love taking the family out to sports. It's not the most cost-effective proposition, and to hear you talk about making this accessible too for everybody to be able to enjoy, it all just came together for me. So I was all in.
That's great. And so early on, we figured out like what we're going to call ourselves. Like we didn't want to name it, right? So we met with some other owners. We met with people who started soccer clubs. You and I spoke with Peter Wilt, who is a habitual. He calls himself a serial soccer team starter. So Indy 11, the Chicago Fire, Chicago Red Stars, Forward Madison are just a few teams within his on his resume. But we had to call ourselves something, right? We couldn't just be like USL Trenton, maybe, like. So we had had some
name. USL Trenton, maybe.
Well, we didn't know, so we started. We had a couple of interns, early people who were interested in soccer and wanted internships just to be involved with something locally. So you got together with our interns, Max, who was on our first episode ever, and Hannah. And you guys came up with this Real Central New Jersey idea. So talk a little bit about the process to come up with that, and maybe share with us a name or two that you guys threw around that you threw out.
Oh, well, I think I'll hold on offering up the other names that we didn't decide to go with, because we're going to talk about the naming campaign that's just underway right now. So I don't want to. I actually don't want to talk about any of the other ones that we discussed in case someone has that suggestion. I want them to really own it. But what I will say is it's been a wild ride and a wonderful ride to think about naming a soccer team. First of all, how often do you get the chance to do that? That's pretty great. And we were talking as the three of us and thinking about names. And I can't remember who came up with it precisely, but I know it wasn't me. I think the two of them were really thinking about what it means to be from this area, from Central New Jersey, and to identify with Jersey. And people say, oh, this is the North or the South, and there's lots of things that people use to try and identify which part of New Jersey, from exit numbers to food products or what have you. But this place is real, and it's not just real because Bon Jovi or the governor said it was at the end of last year, which is great. I'm glad they did. Thank you for that. But it's a spectacular place with an identity all to itself. And so as we were talking about it, and this idea, this name came into the mix, it made a lot of sense. And whether it was real or real, which I know that you and I have had a good laugh about, what is the real name, and how do you pronounce it? And we haven't really said what the actual pronunciation is. We keep calling it real because watch it real, get real. I mean, all the hashtags that we've been throwing around. But in terms of the name, if this becomes the permanent name, maybe it'll be real, maybe it'll be real.
Yeah, people have definitely it's definitely stuck, and one or two people have already come in our campaign and have suggested it. I think including you, perhaps, Jeremy.
Well, I am slow to codify anything because I like to keep options open, but I've really hooked into this name. I identify with this name, and as I said, I love the logo. Had a great time working on it with Max, and I just think it works. I think it absolutely works.
It's fun.
It will not work.
It is completely possible that we have another name and a very similar, if not the same logo, right? That's not out of the realm of possibility, right?
Well, one of the things I love about the way that we're doing this, to go back to your comment about our earliest of early supporters, when Peter so generously offered and spent time with us talking about how to think about launching the team and how to involve people who really were passionate about soccer and get the community invested in it. Everything he said were things that I have employed or I have been a participant in over the 20-something years that I've been doing this type of work. And so when he said, you have to get the community involved early, you have to think about how they're going to take ownership of the team. This to me seemed like the ultimate in taking ownership, having the community name the club. Because you move to an area, they've got a sports team, you fall in love with it or you don't, or you fall in love with the team from the area that you just moved from, or if you grew up in a place, that's fine. But we're here, at the beginning. This is the starting line. So why not get everybody involved? It's not just your team and my team and Benton's team and the group of us in the front office, as you mentioned before. But ultimately, this is going to belong to the region, and really, we really want. We love it already, and we don't even have a full team yet. But by the time we do, we really want everyone to feel that sense of ownership and pride that we already do. So there's no better way to do that than to say, hey, let's all name this thing together. Ira, you're muted. I can't hear you.
What's the first step for someone? That pesky mute button. You were very generous before that. I used it well before we went on air, and then of course I did my classic. So talk a little bit about how people can get involved, what the process is for them if they're interested in submitting a name idea. How do they do that? It's not that complicated, right? Plus, we're giving away little prizes along the way as you get more and more involved with the club.
Oh, I'm so excited for this. This is the kind of thing that I have loved putting together. It's effectively like a game, but the rules are simple. You just participate and then you win stuff. So it's the best game ever. We have some simple steps along the way, and as you mentioned, we have some really awesome prizes. We have. For early participants, we have our stickers and magnets, which can go in your car. And the simplest way to get started is to follow us on one of our social media channels. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, and then go to our website and add your name to our mailing list. And the reason why we want you on the mailing list specifically is, if we're going to send you one of these stickers by mail, we're going to need your mailing address. But that's pretty much all we're going to use it for. We're not a snail mail type of organization. So don't worry, we're not going to share your addresses, physical or virtual, digital, with anybody. But then the second reason for that is once you sign up for the mailing list, you will be invited to become part of that exclusive group who gets the opportunity to submit names. So the first step is you got to get on the mailing list. And then the second step is we'll send you an email invitation with a link where you can add your suggestion. And
you get something cool if you do, right? There's again, this is one of those things where you just do something and we give you something, which is really silly because the owners, which is basically me, you, and one other person, we're giving you stuff to just help name the team, to be involved. Yeah.
And I ran upstairs to go and get it, but I was mentioning earlier this morning on our full team call. Yesterday, I was fully decked in all of our gear, our mask, and our shirt. So I couldn't wear it for today's conversation because it's in the wash. But that is one of the giveaways. So when you submit a name, you get a shirt, but it's limited. So there's a time thing here. Time is of the essence, and it's limited to the first 25 participants. Now, one person can submit more than one name. So we actually have quite a number of names suggested already. So this is a campaign. This is a contest going on right now. So don't wait. The T-shirts will run out, but they're awesome. They're sports shirts. They're really nice, high quality. They're red like our color. They've got our logo across the chest. They're a sports shirt, so you can definitely exercise in them. You won't overheat. fantastic shirts. And
Yeah,
I love mine. I wore it yesterday, as I said.
and so people know there are training shirts for our current fall U23 team. So the guys come in those with those kits, and had I thought about it, I could have put up a picture for everyone to see. In fact, you know what? I will put a picture up on our Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram of some of the guys training
Nice.
in our shirts. So last thing, Jeremy. So where does it go from here? So now that we're going to be getting people involved with suggesting names, how are we actually going to wind up picking a name? Because we need to know soon. If for those of you who don't know, basically the beginning of November we need our name, and soon thereafter we also need a logo, because in December we meet for the annual general meeting of USL League Two, and that's where we come up with our schedule, and we have to know our name by that time. So we only have a couple of months here.
Plus, there's a lot of operations work that requires a name and the final logo mark and identity, and our branding and everything else that goes into developing a team and marketing. So yeah, time is definitely of the essence. So to answer your question, some of the things that are coming up. Firstly, we're looking to generate quantity of names. We'll pick some finalists, and then we'll offer that the small grouping of finalist names back out to the community, where you all will get to vote on which name you prefer. So not only are you offering up, get the opportunity to offer up the name, but then the community is going to get a chance to vote on what the actual final name is. So it's fun. It's and frankly, I think we all need some fun right now. So it works out well on a lot of levels. So we'll come up with our name. We'll go through a logo design process. The Real Central New Jersey soccer logo probably will not live on. So these shirts that you're getting now, these masks, some of the other giveaways, including water bottles, maybe some lanyards for the inaugural season tickets. These things will become collector's items because they might not be around after we come up with the final name. So we'll work on a logo, and we'll also work with everyone watching on finalizing what our logo looks like and our team colors. And then one of the things that I'm really excited about that will happen later on this year, probably about the same time as the conference when we plan out the season, is we're going to get to do kit designs. And I know that you are really excited about the kit designs. For those of you who haven't had the pleasure of seeing Ira's passion about the sport, and even for those of you who have, I can tell you it is all the way ratcheted up to 10. And when he talks about, when he says to me, Jeremy, I want the best kit in soccer. I want a kit that everyone is going to be proud to wear. The volume goes up to 11.
Because it's 11, Jeremy. I mean, it's more than 10. It's 11.
That's right. No, and I'm probably about a 10.5, maybe 11 as well in terms of my excitement for the kit design process. So yeah, we're gonna we'll have everyone involved again when it comes to looking at what a lot of other aspects of our branding, including some of those design elements.
That's great. And of course, so one of the things to know too is in the not too distant future, people are going to be able to start buying season tickets, right?
That's right. Well, we're getting ready to launch our website through USL, which is exciting, as well as the season tickets, which are nearly done being programmed. So definitely one of the other reasons you should follow us on social media and get on the mailing list is you will get early access to discounted season tickets off our inaugural season. And then there'll also be some bonuses, some merch and extra things that can go along with that too, depending on how quick you are to buy your season tickets.
And we like discounts these days, right? Not me personally, but a lot of people do. So,
well,
I mean, at the end of the day, Jeremy, and I think you and I have talked about this a lot. At the end of the day, our goal here is to make this team and high quality soccer accessible to everyone in, the Mercer, Eastern Bucks County, Pennsylvania area, right? That's ultimately our goal. So, you'll see the season tickets, and, you'll be able to get in even as an adult for, way less than $10 a game if you go to all of our games, both the men's and women's games. We do have a men's and women's program that we're planning. We have coaches already. So really follow us on social, fill out the form that Jeremy mentioned, and get involved early. We want to hear from you, whether it's on social or email, however you prefer to contact us. Feel free to do so. So Jeremy, any last words before we wrap up here?
Thank you for everyone who's participated already. It's been amazing to watch this unfold, and to see everybody get involved, and to share your creativity. As someone who works as a creative in marketing and advertising, I'm always impressed when I work with other creative people and I see what amazing things they come up with. So thank you to everybody who's already submitted team name suggestions. Bring on more creativity. We love it. Bring your enthusiasm. Bring your sense of pride in Central Jersey, real Central or reality Central Jersey. And it's going to be great fun. So I'm really excited to go on this journey with everyone and with you, Ira. This is great.
That's great. That was Jeremy Ryan. He's our Chief Marketing and Brand Officer. On behalf of him and everyone here at Real Central New Jersey Soccer, I'm Ira Jersey. Until next time, we hope you're well, and please reach out and contact us.